For as long as I can remember, for as long as I have been doing the Matlab Kuch Bhi series, Balayya has been a consistent feature in these videos. Movies that have featured some of the most illogical sequences, some of the most unintentionally funny dialogues, some of the most uncomfortable romantic sequences and special effects, stunts and dance numbers that have gained national attention for all the wrong reasons. Yes, of course, everyone raves about some of Balayya's movies like Aditya 369 back in the day and Akhanda most recently, but the 2000s and especially the 2010s have featured Nandamuri Balakrishna, a member of one of the most influential Telugu film families in movies that can be best termed as unintentionally funny. This coincided with most of his movies also being rejected by the audience. A case of the Telugu audience also acknowledging that the themes of his movies are almost dated and it feels like an actor past his prime just playing catch up. But what has happened ever since the pandemic is that the same tonality of jokes on Balayya have almost reached an odd sense of self-awareness and popularity, almost giving the lack of logic a pass. And celebrating a Balayya movie in theatres almost comes with the notion of everyone being aware of what they are signing up for. This has actually resulted in him becoming one of the most popular Telugu faces today despite the absolutely ludicrous nature of his movies. Even films that have been panned critically like Veera Simha Reddy and Bhagwan Kesari have gone on to do financially well. Anyone in their right mind would tell you that these movies are absolutely hilarious, even when seen objectively. But there's this unanimous approach to stepping in for a Balayya movie where everyone assumes that the audience will just chant Jai Balayya and forget what happened immediately after stepping out of the theatre. It's one of the most odd but fascinating aspects of the Telugu film industry, and while me, you, and the national media speaks about the sleazy nature of choreography that Balayya is adamant to uncomfortably carry out even off-set, there's this euphoria when his movie Daaku Maharaaj has released, opening to huge numbers that many actors dream of, and as the word spread of Telugu subscribers actually messaging me that the film is pretty decent and probably his least unintentionally funny film, I genuinely got curious. Can there be a Balayya film that I actually seriously enjoy? I'm here to report to all of you that Daaku Maharaaj fits that bill, but you're not looking at something groundbreaking that is going to change the perception of the man also. The film focuses on an engineer turned bandit, Sitaram aka Maharaj played by Nandamuri Balakrishna, who is willing to do anything for the people of Bajrangpur. While initially the engineer wants to ensure that the people of the village get access to drinking water through a project of building a dam, the Thakur family that has exploited the villagers as labourers in the quarry come as roadblocks for this solution. How and why does the engineer become a bandit and a beacon of hope for the villagers as he comes in direct conflict with the Thakurs led by the youngest and most fierce of the family, Balwant Singh Thakur played by Bobby Deol, forms the basic premise of Daaku Maharaj. Here's me telling you the good and bad aspects of the film so that you guys can ultimately decide whether to watch it in theatres or not. Cinematography and background score. This is hands down, after Akhanda, which I still believe got screechingly loud with Taman's background score, is the most technically proficient Balayya movie I have seen in years. The cinematography by Vijay Karthik Kannan is to marvel at. The wide expanse of the Chambal region and the horse riding sequences through the white desert make it ideal for a big screen viewing experience. One of the most engaging action set pieces executed is in a tea estate as it is enveloped in flames. It's probably the most mass yet effective treatment I have seen for an action set piece visually in a Balayya film. Oftentimes, just knowing the aura of Balayya and what comes with his action set pieces, filmmakers go really overboard, chucking the laws of physics and logic and making it meme material immediately. But I must say Daaku Maharaj is entirely devoid of the same, except the climax set piece that did make me chuckle. So kudos to Bobby Kohli for the same. Everyone has told me that Taman is a Balayya fanboy and he does really deliver for him. But this genuinely is his best work with Balayya since the pandemic. And you really do feel like it's the embodiment of a lion appearing as the little girl that Balayya protects takes a few steps back only for the villain's biggest nightmare to appear. He really has cooked with this score. People on social media are not exaggerating. The potential that was wasted. See, it isn't easy to execute action with elderly actors. There are great examples of how one can mask the lack of agility with camera movement, and examples like Jailer and Vikram have showcased how clever filmmaking can even make legends past their prime look badass in combat. I felt, however, other than the one action set piece in the tea estate as the frame is enveloped with flames, there was a lot of potential that was wasted because the filmmaker resorts to only slow motion money shots of the main hero versus actually spending time in creating an engaging choreography. There were especially two examples in the movie where I felt the movie could have done so much more. There is one sequence where Maharaj's gang protects the family from all corners. The potential threat is evaded with ease in one or two money shots. And this brilliant scene that could have been so special of Balayya cooking the little girl he protects her favorite noodles while at the same time eliminating the enemies around him. This could have been the perfect synergy of wholesome and intense, but with one or two slow motion shots again, the goons are easily eliminated. So there are many instances where you feel like the action can get intense as Balayya is surrounded by them, but it's the same old tropes of mass commercial cinema shots of celebrating the hero with Taman's BGM thumping in the background that does give the film a generic quality versus something that you have never seen before. The least unintentionally funny treatment. Many times a Balayya movie from a plot point of view becomes extremely hilarious. But this is one of those movies, at least when I compare it to the three that have released since Akhanda, that is actually interesting from a storytelling POV. It does not have Honey Rose playing Balayya's mom. It does not have Shruti Hassan getting high on coke and falling in love with Balayya as they hip thrust their way into the sunset. Yes, that was a plot point of Veerasimha Reddy. It does not have characters with dialogues like, "You are wrong, he is King Kong. He is Bulldozer, you are Water Geyser." Yes, these are dialogues from Bhagwan Kesari, by the way. Just from a script POV, if you were to look at the oppressive Thakur family, an engineer wanting to fight the system and wanting to provide for the downtrodden, and the aesthetic itself of a man becoming deeply involved with a group of people, so much so that he takes up arms and protects them at any cost, it leads to at least an interesting plot, making the movie actually engaging. The only frustrating part of this entire film that of course cannot escape a Balayya movie is the male gaze, an uncomfortable romantic angle, and this is where I have to bring up the purpose of Urvashi Rautela. This is one of the generic trappings of commercial Telugu cinema that they just can't evolve from. I don't know why they feel it's necessary for the plot, but the purpose of Urvashi in this film is only to flaunt her body. She plays an inspector in this movie, by the way, and she casually comes in and out of the film randomly. Her introduction shot is literally her bosom and her bum as she sweats profusely while doing yoga. A camera shot pans from top to bottom to Urvashi's body as Urvashi makes sure that the hero's eyes don't wander anywhere. There is a song in this film where literally Urvashi's purpose is that she gets spanked in the air. And I'm not talking about the infamous song that has become national news. The integration of the famous song is so abrupt that you just chuckle. The makers apparently have got so conscious of the backlash that they received from the choreography that they actually have edited the choreography in such a way that the aggressive spanking gets cut in the theatrical edit. I'm actually over feeling bad for someone like Urvashi engaging in such roles because she only sees it as exposure and a marketing tool, and if someone like Balayya, who has no reason to change as he gets showered with box office love, if he's having some fun along the way, like who am I to say anything if consenting adults are doing such things and acting in such lewd and tacky sequences? I'm not okay with it. It's just tasteless for me. And I hope one day commercial Telugu cinema can be devoid of it. I don't know if it's going to change though, because the loudest cheers in our theatre was when Balayya was spanking Urvashi in the song. The transition to the generic. The reason why Daaku Maharaaj does transition to become generic is because the characters are simply not memorable enough. They just become caricatures in the plot versus villains who actually stay with you. Ravi Kissan features as a butcher and MLA and he is quite forgettable in his role. Shine Tom Chacko seems to have mastered the art of forgettable roles beyond Malayalam cinema, and this becomes an addition to the same. Bobby Deol probably plays the most unimpressive villain in a mass commercial movie, leaving zero impression, and I was left only appreciating the bangala he was wearing in one scene. The same generic tropes of introducing the hero and Balayya announcing his arrival continue, with people saying, "He is not human, he is a wild animal." You know, the same Hindi dubbed meme like "Tu janta nahi wo kaun hai," which I understand is for the fans, but it's so tiring at this point. Balayya saying dialogues like "Mere dushman kam" or "Jaan dene wale fans zyada hain" as he exits the Chambal Valley, or saying something like "I did masters in murders." Just makes me laugh at this point. The film could have been something beyond the generic tropes of commercial Telugu cinema, and while it is far more engaging than his recent work, the bar genuinely is very low for us to even slightly commend Daaku Maharaaj as being anything other than just an ordinary offering at the movies this weekend. It still makes me wonder how Balayya has managed this balance of sticking to the absurd and slightly uncomfortable, but still a level of popularity many of his contemporaries and juniors just don't receive. I guess this is a phenomena that I just can't wrap my head around. So I probably just have to shut my mouth and chant Jai Balayya. And that was the video, guys. Write down in the comments below what you think about this phenomena and Daaku Maharaaj. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram. The handle's right in front of you. Follow me at JammyPants4. Also, please support us by smashing the like button and subscribing to our channel for weekly content ahead. Thank you for watching.